Welcome to Nic On Knicks, where your boy N.I.C rants about the latest Knicks news. New York Knicks fans, if yesterday during the day I told you that if I sat you down and I said, "Hey, Mitchell Robinson is going to be 6 for 6 at the 3-point line, at the free throw line," my bad. It's hard for me to even. I'm having a hard time believing it, even saying it right now. Let's try this again. If I had told you that Mitchell Robinson was going to be 6 of 6 from the free throw line, and that Josh Hart was going to be 5 of 9 from 3. Is there any way that you would think that the Knicks were not going to win game 5 and close out the series and send the defending champions to Cancun for the summer? Yet the Knicks still found a way to lose the game by 25 points, 127 to 102. As always, if you're checking us out, give us a like, give us a subscribe, send this to one of your friends who's a Knicks fan. You know, I felt it was important to come on. I don't do like a recap of every game, though I did get on a post game last night with my guy Don from Breaking the Huddle Pod. Go check him out. Go find his stuff, Breaking the Huddle Pod on YouTube, on TikTok. He's a fun guy, man. We had a good time. He knows his ball. He loves his Knicks. Check him out. But I hopped on his post game yesterday, and I wanted to do a Nic On Knicks today, just because after a little bit of time, there's so many ways and things that I feel about this game. The Knicks had a golden opportunity. That is true. As I often say, two things can be true. And one thing is that the Knicks had a golden opportunity. The other thing is that the Knicks had to expect, and basketball fans in general had to expect, that the Boston Celtics were going to come out and, like a cornered, wounded animal, they were going to attack. And what the Knicks needed to do was continue to not do things that were going to allow them to build up confidence and feel like, you know what, we can do this. And I thought in the first half, though I didn't love everything I saw out of the Knicks, I thought they did a great job of continuing to, every time Boston got something going, just give them a good body blow, good gut punch, and be like, nah. We're not having that tonight. We're not going down by 20. I know y'all are hitting threes. I know we're not guarding Derek White. I know y'all got some things working for you, but at the same time, we're going to keep coming at you. And at one point in the second quarter, we went up, I want to say 40 to 32. I know it was by 8. I think it was 40 to 32. And from that point to the end of the game, the Knicks played like just straight up dog shit. Terrible. The third quarter was one of the worst performances I have seen by this Knicks team all season long. And we've had a lot of bad third quarters. That has been one of the trademarks of this team, unfortunately, is coming out in the third and just not having the intensity level or the energy that you need to be able to compete, let alone close out a team with championship pedigree. I mean, back in the Detroit series, this was such a story as far as how bad we were in third quarters that Mikal Bridges suggested maybe we should do layup lines coming out of halftime. And we actually did it. And it worked. That was one of the best third quarters that we had. I want to say that was game 4 against the Pistons. I could be off on the game, but I think that was the first one. I would assume that we've continued to do it since. But going off of last night's game and how we came out in the third quarter, they need to figure something the fuck out. I mean, hey, yo, man, it was a piss poor effort in that third quarter and into the fourth quarter. Going back to the first half, there's certain things about the Knicks that I just continue to be frustrated by that drive me bananas. That things that it seems like just within this own playoff run that we have figured out and then reverted to our old ways and then figured out and then reverted to our old ways. And this is where I start to get away from what a lot of people always talk about with Thibodeau. How about it's some sort of tactical thing? I don't necessarily think it is. Because if that's the case, you're telling me he's changing his tactics from quarter to quarter as far as how we guard the pick and roll and whether or not we emphasize, helping or guarding the 3-point line more so. So I don't think Tibbs is changing that on the fly all the time. But yet this Knicks team and their performance, it seems like those two things specifically, the variance in them, not from one game to one game, but from one quarter to one quarter, are just so vast. And it's hard to understand, man. I'm gonna keep this one short. I'm not, a lot of times I go like an hour. I'm not gonna do a full hour, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you thought that we were just going to get this team out of here and you were real confident in that, you more confident than me. And I'm a fairly optimistic fan. I try to be pretty confident. I feel good about this Knicks team. Once we go up 3-1, I feel like, yeah, man, we got to win this series. We are going to win this series. And I still feel that way. But I was saying, man, we really got to close it out in 5 because I don't want to have to go back to the New York, to the Garden and then have all the, angst and everything and knowing that you got to close it out in game 6 because you definitely don't want to go back to the fake Garden for game 7. And I still feel that way. It has to be closed out on Friday, but we'll get into that. But I was like more so like saying like, yo, we got to win this game. Like it would be great if we did. There was no part of me that was like, yo, we're definitely going to win this game because this team, man, they've been to the mountaintop. They just lost their best player. They're down 3-1 in the series. I don't know how much more desperate you can make a team. And so they were going to come out and they were going to play with desperation. When I got confident was when we get to halftime and we still haven't played that well. We're still not shooting the ball great. And defensively, we're a mess. So when those things are going on, but then at halftime, we have a 59-59 score and they're shooting the ball lights out. I'm like, they're not going to shoot that well. We're going to clean up some of these issues on the defensive end. We're going to start to make some shots and we're going to win this game. Halftime tied. The way we were playing, I was very confident. And then the third quarter happens. If your name is not Josh Hart or Mitchell Robinson, you suck last night. I'm talking players, coaches, organizationally. I don't know. Maybe I need to be a better fan. But game 5, if you ain't Hart and you ain't Mitchie, you get an F. You get an F. It was just a very, very, very tough night all around, and the type of effort that you see from this team occasionally, and you would just hope that at this juncture of this journey that is a season, they would not still be pumping out these types of showings. Now it's 32. We go back to the Garden. Friday night. Knicks, I had no practice yesterday for my kids. My kids play a lot of sports. I'm at a different practice almost every single night of the week. Last night, the place where we have basketball practice had some sort of event. It was canceled. I'm like, yo, that's okay. Knicks in 5. Let's go. Now the game is on Friday. I live on the West Coast, so things are a little bit earlier for me. The game is on Friday at 5. My son plays a playoff baseball game, which I am also a coach for that team, and that starts at 6:30. We will start warming up at 5:30. So for just me personally, Knicks, y'all, I really would have appreciated it if you would have closed it out on Wednesday night. Instead, I'll be following from my phone, paying as much attention as I can. When I'm at first base, coaching first base, I leave the phone in the dugout. I can't be having that, like distracting me. I got to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's the playoffs. I got to take care of these kids. All right. When I'm in the dugout and we're playing defense, then I put the phone on the fence, but I'm up on the fence, close to the fence. I got one AirPod in. During warmups, I'm going to have one AirPod in, phone in pocket. But it would be nice to be at home watching it on the big screen. But they took that away from me. First quarter, immediately off the top. Hold on, we got some comments. Let's see what the people are saying. Check y'all out. Nice. 5 fouls. Listen, nice. I got all of those same thoughts as you, and I will respond to him. You said, nah, bro, Deuce was doing his thing. I don't know if I misspoke before, but, I did say that only those 2 players showed up. I thought that Deuce did play pretty well. You got a good point there. Nice. Got a good point there. Deuce did play pretty well. Deuce McBride, he ended up being 3 of 8, 3 of 6 from behind the 3-point line, 11 points, only a -9 on the plus minus side, which with how that game went, and he had 3 assists. Deuce played pretty well. You know what? If anything, one of my biggest gripes with Tibbs, and this is no way a thing where I'm putting this whole game on Tibbs, but I do got a couple things that with Tibbs that I'm like, hey, yo, well, I don't understand. But one of my biggest gripes with Tibbs was that in that third quarter, when things are just going all the way bad, and Jalen Brunson is picking up all of the fouls that we didn't throw a Deuce and or a Mitch in the game at that point just to mix some things up. We know that Tibbs rides the starting lineup, but those are his 2 bench players. I thought having them all play the entire third quarter, especially with how it was playing out and how it ultimately played out with the Jalen Brunson foul situation, we could have used some subs, some new life there, new vibe, new something. Beginning of the game, first thing off the rip, is somebody going to guard Derek White? And this was a theme throughout the game, was the Knicks' just total lack of organization and communication on the defensive end. It's something we've seen all season. It's something that Josh Hart talked about specifically after the game. I do not understand. OG Anunoby is one of the most high IQ defensive players I've ever seen. Mikal Bridges is a fantastic defender. Josh Hart is a better than average defender. Oh, also a guy who seems somewhat cerebral about the game. Josh Hart does some dumb shit, but usually it comes from a place of just like supreme effort and things not working out, as opposed to, he does some dumb shit. Let's keep it real. He does some shit sometimes where you're like, yo, what the fuck? But I'm not hating on Josh. Josh played well last night. He was banging his threes, 5 of 9 from 3. And just overall, I thought that Josh, came with the intensity and with the force. Did I love everything he did? No. If I get 24 points from him, and like I said, he's 5 of 9 from 3, 7 of 15 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover. Josh, he punched his card. He put that work in yesterday for sure. So I can't get mad at Josh. But he made the point afterwards. My point is that with these 3 wings, the wing stop plus Josh Hart, the drumstick, what is it about these guys? I guess we got to go ahead and include Brunson and Cat in this as well, because it happens with all of them. But specifically with them, it's hard to understand because of their defensive reputation. What is it about these guys that they can't figure out who is guarding who? When you play pickup with some dudes you don't know against some dudes you don't know, at the beginning of the game, you look at the players, you look at the size, somewhat of their skill set, and you look at each other and you say, I got him. 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 Then throughout the course of the game, there's some times where one particular dude is killing another dude, and you say, let's switch. Or he says, I need to switch. Then there's other times where there's one guy who he's getting it going. He's shooting. He's hitting shots from deep. And typically somebody says, shooter, shooter. And that means that the guy who's guarding him or anybody that's close to him in a transition situation, once he gets into a range that he can shoot at, you have to go be close to him and you do not help off of him. These are things that, like I said, with 4 people that you don't know against 5 other people that you don't know, most people can figure out. The New York Knicks have played together all season. Their starting lineup has played more minutes together than any other lineup in the NBA by, an astronomical margin. And even in this playoffs, their starting unit has played together more than any 5-player unit by a wide margin. And yet they still can't figure out this fucking simple concept of who's got who, and he's a shooter. Somebody make that shit make sense to me. I just don't get it, man. I don't get how they're not even running any action. They're not doing anything exotic. Somebody's dribbling down the court, and Derek White's like, hey, I'm open over here. And they're like, oh, there's Derek over there. He's open. Here you go. And Derek's just like, whack up. And the Knicks are looking at each other, pointing at each other like the fucking Spider-Man meme. What the fuck, man? What am I missing, yo? Why is this something that seems like it's so hard for this team with all these guys who allegedly have high basketball IQs? It's so hard for them to figure this shit out. I don't get it, yo. I just don't get it. But we weathered the storm early. Early on in this game, I saw Karl Anthony Towns get one of the more fair whistles I've ever seen him get. I was like, what is happening right now? They were actually calling legitimate fouls on Karl Anthony Towns. Now, one thing about that, he was not looking for fouls. He was just going up strong. And also with what's happened in these last couple games, these referees, they look at tape, they see what's happened recently, and they're human. So there's part of them. It's like, damn, this guy's been getting fucking hacked. Let's go ahead and, give him a couple whistles. That's just how I feel about that. I got more to say about the refs. We'll get to that at some point. Deuce in that first quarter. Hey, shout to my man N.I.C, who said this before. He corrected me, rightfully so. Deuce, first quarter, he has a tough 3. I mean, a tough contested 3 off the dribble that he hits. And then he gets a steal. Ball goes out of bounds off them, and it ends up leading to an OG 3. Let's go. They try hack a Mitch. Mitch goes 4 for 4. Let's go. And you could hear that there was quite a few Knicks fans at the Boston Garden last night. I feel bad for those people, man. Some of them made the trip. Whoever they are, they come out there. They're trying to get a chance to see their team. They're either displaced or they're from the tri-state area, but they realize I could probably get a plane ticket, go ahead and get me tickets and a hotel for about the same cost as what it would be to see it in the Garden. So, yeah. I'm like, yo, man, we got the fans out here. We weathered the storm. We right here. Let's go. We didn't, the end of the first quarter, we finished the quarter fairly strong. We get into the second quarter. One of the things I noticed about Bridges off the jump is that he was just, fighting for boards. And there was like 50-50 balls that were, because they shoot a lot of threes. They're shooting them. A lot of them are going in. Derek White couldn't fucking miss. Peyton Pritchard comes in, and we're going under the screen while guarding Peyton Pritchard. Again, How someone explain to me what the mindset is on let's go under the screen when Peyton Pritchard is about to shoot a three. Someone, anybody explain that to me. Help me understand. And in that second quarter, the momentum changed when Cat got those two idiotic fouls back to back. His second and his third fouls, they were fouls. They were blatant and obvious fouls that he wasn't giving the ref any chance to even like not call the foul. He's making it so the ref has to call the foul. And okay, once you get your second, you can't get your third, bud. Now he's gone for the rest of the first half. He doesn't come in until like the last like minute or so, just like not even a minute for like last however last offensive possession. I think is the next time he came back in the game. Changed everything. Deuce is playing good in the second quarter as well. He had a tough pull up on Drew Holiday jumper. And around that second quarter, towards the end of it, was when I was like, man, what is happening with the officiating right now? I know. People go, oh, we didn't lose the game because of the refs. And, some people, like my father, and he rightfully so, says the calls go to the aggressor. That can be true. What can also be true is those refs did a fucking bullshit ass job in the end of that second quarter and especially in that third quarter. Brunson on the last play of the first half with Derek White guarding him got fouled 3 times. No whistles. I mean, legit. I'll go back and watch it. Legit 2 hands on him, shoving him as he's trying to, move and do his thing and get a shot with the last like 9 and change seconds. And no call. Brunson's pissed as we're going off into the halftime. You can see it. He's looking at the ref like, what the fuck, dude? What do I got? What has to happen here? Then at the beginning of that third quarter, my first note is Brunson is getting beat up. He's getting beat up. He's being fouled, and it's not being called. And now we have a play where Derek White is going to the basket. He goes up. As he goes up, he elbows Brunson in the face. They call an offensive foul on Derek White. Joe Mazzulla challenges it. I see the replay as they're going to commercial. I'm like, well, that was a foolish challenge. Thanks for donating your challenge, Joe. Because, I mean, he just elbowed him in the face. There's no way they're going to overturn that, right? Yo, they look at this replay, this challenge, and they say, yo, actually, Jalen Brunson fouled Derek White's elbow with his chin. So it's not New York basketball. It's not a foul on Derek White. It's a foul on Brunson, and White goes to the line for 2. He only made 1 for 2, but he then continued to just bomb away from behind the 3-point line, hitting every single thing. And we're not guarding him. He's walking up into wide open threes. They're kicking it. We're helping off of him. We're not finding him in transition. He's dribbling the ball up one time. He has the ball when he crosses the half court line and dribbles up and pulls up for a 3, like 2 or 3 feet behind the line. He's red hot at this point. He's a very good 3-point shooter. He's killed us all season. And he can shoot from there. Why aren't we guarding him? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand that part, man. Like, why are we not guarding this guy? The first 4.5 minutes to start the second half were executed absolutely 10 by the Knicks, and a tie game now sees us down by 10. And, we've been here before, so it's like, we're down by 10. Like a little run, get it back down by 3. Hopefully have it, 5 or less by the end of the quarter. That's what you're thinking at that point. No. We were sadly mistaken. Darlene, salute to you as well. Appreciate you always showing mad love. Frankie, Calabria, Celtics are deep. I would not count them out. They still got JB and a deep team. This is not even a series if KP is healthy. He's a liability out there. He's flat-footed. He can't block a shot. KP has definitely not been himself. But let's also think about this, though. KP at his best is not going to give you last night what Luke Cornett did. Former Knick, Luke Cornett, who has played against us, played well against us all season, during the regular season and in these playoffs when he gets minutes. I've heard Celtics fans say that they feel like one of the big things one of the gripes they have with Mazzulla is that they're not giving Cornett enough minutes. The Knicks last night, and clearly, I think Cornett is a solid player, pretty good player. But the Knicks last night made Luke Cornett look like he was David Robinson. The game of his life. In the playoffs, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks, throw in a steal and an assist, and a plus 20 in only 25 minutes and 38 seconds. The man shot 100% from the field, 5 for 5. Yo, it was crazy. And see, Frankie, you say he looked like Kevin McHale out there, and I get it. Kevin McHale is a Celtic, so there's that connection there. He looked like Kevin McHale. First of all, Kevin McHale was a below the rim, footwork, post move type player. He looked like David Robinson out there. The way he was blocking shots, he caught an alley-oop backwards dunk on the break. Yo, man. Come on, man. We got Cornett out here dominating this game. And why was he able to dominate? Because Karl Anthony Towns was only able to play 28 minutes and 59 seconds due to his consistent foul trouble. Started in the third quarter. In the second quarter, where he picked up the second and third almost immediately and right back to back, and it totally took us out of our rhythm. And then in the third quarter, I mean, listen, this is the part where I get a little bit annoyed with the refs. I mean, Jason Tatum is injured. We know that part, right? Celtics are back on their home floor. Knicks are up 3-1. If you're any type of conspiracy theorist, you would immediately believe that the referees are going to do everything to make this at least go 6, right? I don't know if I can go quite that far. Again, shout out to my man Don, who I did the post game with yesterday. He 100% believes that the fix was in. Don over on Breaking the Huddle pod. I don't know if I'm going to go quite that far. There are the Donahues of the world and some of the different stories that have come out. Listen, we're not going to get into that, but I thought last night they did not do a very good job. I thought specifically in that third quarter, you have the one where Brunson gets elbowed. You have a total in the third quarter of 5 fouls called on Jalen Brunson. I mean, there was a lot of them that were sus too, man. Go back and look at it. Cat picks up his 4th. In general, I thought that Josh Hart wasn't getting some of the calls that he should get. Luke Cornett busts him wide open. And that was back in the second quarter, but he hits him with the elbow right on that spot on the eye that immediately just bleeds everywhere when it gets hit. Looked like a boxer or a UFC fighter. And that's not a flagrant. I thought that flagrant 1 had nothing to do with intent. I thought when you add intent to it, that's when you get to the flagrant 2. Flagrant 1, and if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, whether you're watching right now or the replay gang. I meant to look it up today, but I didn't get a chance. If I thought it was strictly about if you're making contact above the head and neck, he elbows him in the eye. The man is spewing blood everywhere, had to change his uniform. They go look at it and they're like, yep, all good here. Just a regular foul. That right there, plus the JB fouling and fouling your boy, what's his name, Derek White, with his face on Derek White's elbow. Derek White coming up, elbowing him in the chin, and somehow being a foul on Brunson. I don't know, man. I guess I don't understand the rules. I need some explanations. Man, I just thought that third quarter, especially with what they did to my man Brunson, was no good. But I also thought as a team, we did not come out with the proper energy in the third quarter. I thought that we did not come out with the attention to detail on defense that we needed in the third quarter. I thought the coach was slow to make adjustments in the third quarter, specifically getting somebody like a Deuce or a Bridges. I'm sorry, Deuce or Mitch in when things were just going as bad as they possibly could. Maybe mix it up right then. Get somebody, just do something. Try to stop this avalanche. And right on time, Frankie Calabria. He's a Celtics fan, actually. Has not been watching ever since Jason Tatum got injured. But like he said, the Knicks got to bring their A game and play physical. That was the other thing that was missing in that third quarter specifically is we lost the physicality. And that's one of the ways that's one of the areas that we have won in this series thus far. And a lot of that comes from the rough and tumble series we just had to play against the Detroit Pistons. And that's something that we have been doing to the Celtics throughout this entire series. It's just being the more physical team. I thought yesterday we lost that. I thought Jaylen Brown did a very good job of establishing physicality from the beginning, especially, hey, you're supposed to be the 1A player, right? You're supposed to be a max player. You're supposed to be a superstar, according to you and some other people. The best driver of the basketball in the league, according to you. He clearly showed up yesterday. He clearly showed up. Jaylen Brown had a very, very good game. He had 26 points. He was a team high plus 28 on the night. 3 of 5 from behind the arc, and he had been struggling shooting the three really this season, but especially during this series. Jaylen Brown added 12 assists, 8 rebounds, 28, 12, and 8. Yo, man, that's a hell of a game when you're trying to, keep your team from being eliminated. Fantastic. 26 points. Sorry. The plus minus was 28. 26 points, 12 assists, 8 boards. Great game. But we let him shoot way too many shots from deep that were way too open. We had missed defensive assignments that allowed him to get all the way to the basket. OG Anunoby. He was guarding Jaylen Brown quite a bit. They were getting him switched off of him. But I figure, now Jaylen Brown is going to have to deal with what Tatum has been dealing with. And he's about to see this demon OG on him. I don't know why, but I think Bridges is a better matchup for Jaylen Brown. And then you let OG be able to, kind of float and be able to let him play Derek White. OG Anunoby will have a game where he scores 5 points, but will still be extremely valuable. Last night was not that night. And he was 1 of 12 from the field, 1 of 5 from behind the 3-point line. Had a total of 6 points. And this is the thing, 0 steals, 1 block. That's not OG, man. Now, we know that in game 4, we saw OG grab his hamstring. He did come in later in that game, and he seemed like he was fine, seemed like he was himself. Breakaways, dunks. So I don't know if that's a factor at all. Sometimes you keep it warm, you're good, and then now, you sleep on it, it's a little bit worse. But OG didn't look like himself last night. Didn't have the lift on the shots, and defensively did not make the impact. I'm used to OG, jumping off the screen a few times a game on the defensive end. There was none of that last night. We need OG. We need more consistent offensive output from him. Karl Anthony Towns, the fouling, the stupid fouls that he gets, the 1 or 2 he gets that just like, it's a combination of he puts himself in stupid positions. He's also got, I don't think, a very good reputation with the referees. He complains too much. I think he's got the worst whistle in the league. So I understand why he gets frustrated. But at the end of the day, it's not helping his cause. He ends up with 19 points, only 8 rebounds. I just thought in general, Cat didn't play with the type of force that we need him to play with. He didn't dictate. He didn't impose his will like he can sometimes. And when I say impose your will, I'm not and play with force. I'm not necessarily saying you got to go down in the point, paint and bang. Cat can score on any level, but he's especially good from 3 and close. And I didn't think he did either of those things in this game. And I don't think he even gave himself a chance to be able to get into a rhythm to do those things due to the foul trouble. I didn't think Tibbs, I'm sorry, but when Brunson picks up his 4th foul in the 3rd quarter, take him out right then. He has to come out. We're not playing well at the time. I know you feel like it's getting away from us, but if anything, maybe we could, use a little bit of new life. Again, we continue to just play this starting lineup all together as much and way more than any other lineup in the entire NBA all season, all postseason, and they're like one of our worst lineups. Just if you look at like the per numbers, if you look at the offensive, defensive rating numbers, the net rating numbers, it's true, man. If you take out one of those guys and you put in a Deuce, or you take out one of those guys and you put in a Mitch, the numbers, it's a real large sample size at this point. Over 90 games, the numbers say that those lineups are a little bit better. Kind of hard to argue with a 90-game sample size. And then in that 3rd quarter, it was crystal clear that lineup, whatever was going on, they needed something. They needed to switch it up, and they needed Brunson to not pick up his 5th foul, which he did. Now that is another one. Jaylen Brown hooks him, then knees him, and somehow it's foul on Brunson. Tibbs challenges it. They say, yeah, foul on Brunson. I don't get it, man. I don't know what I'm watching here. I don't know how that's a foul on him when I get to watch it in slow motion, and so do you, from a bunch of different angles. What's happening here? And Jaylen Brown was doing some. I mean, listen, let's keep it a buck. Jaylen Brown grabbed Josh Hart's dick at one point in this game. I don't know. Can't nobody tell me that was inadvertent. He knew exactly where his hand was, and he straight up grabbed that for whatever. And I don't know, man. I don't know what that was about, Jaylen Brown. I saw a picture earlier yesterday of you at a Diddy party as well. You follow that up with a dick grab on national television, and I'm kind of, I mean, what's going on here? Knicks got to be better, man. Game 6 is everything. Got to win Game 6. If it goes to Game 7, I think we're done. I don't think we could win a Game 7 in Boston if we go out in Madison Square Garden and we lose this team for a second time without their best player. I think at that point the series would be 100% over. I mean, I think maybe in this game on Friday, we should do things like not let Peyton Pritchard get offensive rebounds, not leave him wide open behind the 3-point line, and not go under when we're guarding him from 3. Knicks shot less than 35%. Celtics got up to about what? Knicks shot exactly 35%, 35.8%, and Celtics shot 52%. Hard to win that game. They're 22 of 49 from 3. We're 12 of 30. Hard to win that game when you shoot that badly. And the Celtics were shooting wide open threes and layups and dunks. In the first quarter, I thought Jaylen Brown did a good job of utilizing the mid-range. And then I thought after that, it was just the Knicks just totally losing all type of discipline, all type of want to when it came to the defensive end of the basketball, man. I don't know how you do that in the third quarter and overall in the second half in game 5 with a chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals and defeat defending champs. Third quarter, we were outscored 32-17. Unacceptable. We start the fourth. JB, 5 fouls. He's on the floor. Tibbs is desperate, clearly, at this point. And what do you know? Jalen Brunson goes ahead and he picks up his 6th foul. He's out of the game. Yeah, man. Game was definitely over, all the way over at that point. I really thought that we should have gotten him out in the third when he had 4. Shouldn't have let him get the 5th. And then you should have rested him for the first few minutes of the fourth quarter, because it's not just about like, oh, we need Jalen. We need him to be in there. We're bad. Where things are going so bad. We need him to, like, bring us back. Let's keep it real, man. At that point, if you want Jalen to bring you back, he's going to need a little bit of time, a little bit of rest. And he's got to be able to stay away from the fouls. They hunt him every single play as is. Now that he has 5 fouls to start the fourth quarter, do you think that this Boston team is not going to figure out a way to get one more foul on him and get him out? The clutch player of the year, the guy that they don't let it get close towards the end, because now you're toast because you're playing against our guy, JB. You don't think they're going to figure out a way to get him out? I didn't agree with that with Tibbs, man. I didn't. Yeah, Frank, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to break it to you, but those photos were circulating around on Nick's Twitter yesterday. Follow me on Twitter, man. It's Nic On Knicks. It's Nic On Knicks on every platform. If you're watching on YouTube, give me a like, hit that subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter, give me a follow, comment in the comments. I can't see the Twitter comments during the actual pod. I can only see the YouTube ones, but yeah, man. We got to take care of business tomorrow. Darlene knows what time it is. We got to, man. We got to. And we just have to come out. Again, what have we seen all season? What have we seen all season? This team is so two-faced, so Jekyll and Hyde. One day we look like the best team in the league. Another day, and it's not even one game to another. It's within a quarter. Even in this series, we still haven't put together all right, 4 quarters, 3 to 4 quarters, we play really well. It feels like we get 2 good quarters and they've been timely and we've been able to pull this out. And that's why you like everybody keeps saying, like I'm saying, like everybody in the comments is saying, that's why you have to finish the job on Friday. I've been saying all week, when people start talking about Indiana, job's not finished. Shout to Kobe Bean. Come on, man. We got to take care of the business. We have to. Tomorrow, the defensive discipline has to be way better. On offense, we can't have, there was a possession in the fourth quarter where the possession basically was, hey, Deuce, you get yours, like an isolation deuce for him to shoot a long 2. Fuck no. That cannot be the possession, okay? We have to be more disciplined on both sides of the ball. Top to bottom, that was a piss poor effort. You got Cornette looking like David Robinson out there. Cat played soft on both ends. I'm sorry, played soft on both ends. And also his defensive awareness is just dreadful sometimes. But you know what? If he played 40 minutes instead of 23 or 28 minutes, maybe he gets hot during those other 12, hits a couple threes, and that whole stat line, everything looks different. And you feel different about him, because there's games with Cat this season where he's driven me absolutely nuts at some points. And then other points, I'm like, oh shit, look at what Cat did. Remember that? Remember the putback? And 1. Bridges, 4 of 14. I need more shots from you, Bridges. And I would really love it if you could start hitting a 3 or 2 here. Just come on. 1 of 3 from 3, continues to not shoot the 3 well throughout this entire series. Knicks are only 12 of 30 from behind the arc. Mitch, you were fantastic. 23 minutes, 8 points, 13 rebounds for Mitch, 6 of them on the offensive side. Mitch was great, man. Mitch was great once again. I mean, and again, the 6 for 6 from behind the arc. I'm sorry, from the free throw line. We can't go under on screens on this team. We have to switch everything. On offense, we have to move the ball, get JB off the ball some. And at the end of the day, it's a make or miss league. Got to make some shots. Now we go back to the Garden. We're going to have the crowd behind us. What you don't want with this Garden crowd is to be down by like 8 in the third quarter. Now everybody is squeezing and just the booty holes is tight. And the players feel that shit. Now, every time there's a shot, instead of it being like, oh, it's about to hit, it's that like, The players feel that shit. So, Garden, please come with that positive energy tomorrow. I wish I could be in there. But please come with that positive energy tomorrow. Team, come out with that type of intensity, that force, that New York grit that you need to close out a championship team and get the job done. Finish the job, New York Knicks. Take care of business Friday night. Send the Celtics on vacation and get to the first Eastern Conference Finals in over 2 decades. I believe we can do it. Don't matter what I believe. It's time to show and prove. It's your boy Nic On Knicks.